17, even more so. 16, traveling through time and space, seeing those lifetimes go by. Going all the way down. 15, completely gone, vanished. As the scenes of those lifetimes appear, allow yourself to be in that scene and tell me where you are.
I'm in space.
I'm in space. So as you travel through space, I'd like for you to notice what's there that's interesting to you. What do you notice in space?
I'm in a ship.
I'm in a ship. So as you look around this ship, I'd like for you to describe to me what you see in this ship.
I'm in a room that's round and big windows.
Mm-hmm.
I can see outside.
What do you see out the windows?
Stars.
Very good. So I'd like for you now to focus on the observer of these windows. Look down and see if you have a body there.
Yes.
Can you describe to me what this body looks like? Look down at your hands.
4 fingers.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe to me the skin on these fingers?
Luminescent.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth, like light.
Beautiful. Look at the rest of your body. What does it look like?
Tall. Slim.
Tell me more.
Feels male.
Mm-hmm.
Face gentle. Hair blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes big green. Blue-green.
Notice if you're wearing any clothing.
Yeah, it's like a suit, or it's like a second skin.
Mm-hmm.
Very soft to touch.
Yes. Does this suit cover your entire body?
Yes, the hands are exposed.
Mm-hmm. What about your feet? Take a look at your feet and see what your feet look like.
They're closed and closed and closed.
Mm-hmm. What does it look like? Are you wearing shoes?
No. That's part of the outfit.
Okay, very good. So as you look at this outfit, I'd like for you to just notice, are there any insignias or anything on this outfit?
I feel on the left breast area.
Yes.
Symbol.
Mm-hmm. Take a close look at this symbol and see what it is.
Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And a triangle in a triangle. And then like a straight line down the middle of the triangle.
Mm-hmm. Does it have any particular color, this symbol?
Shimmery white.
Mm-hmm.
It's alive.
Tell me about that.
The whole fabric of what I'm wearing is like a receptivity.
Mm-hmm.
Like energy is transmitted through it and from it. And I feel if I touch the symbol, it triggers off ability to float.
let's see what it does. I'd like for you to go ahead and touch that symbol. See what happens to your body.
I can move between dimensions. I can levitate. I can transform the physical from one place to another.
So what is it that you're doing now?
Floating.
Floating. Very good. Can you tell me what it is that you do on this ship? What is your role?
Messenger.
Messenger. What are you?
I translate information that comes from other places.
Okay. And who do you translate it to?
To those on board.
Okay. How many are on board your ship?
500.
500. Very good. So let's take a look around this ship, if you would. And tell me what else you see around this ship. For example, the size, the machinery, technology. Look around you.
Everything is very simple. If you can imagine that the ship is like a big oblong, so not quite round.
Yes.
And the center is more solid. Rooms, mechanisms, quarters, the outer layer is like a long corridor. You walk around the whole ship like imagine like a porch.
Yes.
But it is enclosed in the well, it's not glass, but it's you can see through it.
And are there others with you as you walk through this?
Well, they're there. They find they're smiling at me at what I'm doing with you.
What do they call you on this ship? Do you have a name?
Aldor.
Aldor. Very good. And Aldor, how old are you?
In the Earth energy time, 2 millennium.
Does your body age at all?
No.
No. How do you sustain your body?
Energy.
Energy. Where does this energy come from?
Source.
So you're able to tap in directly to source.
Yes.
And keep your body aligned and in tune. Very good.
Yes.
Are there any illnesses on this ship?
No.
No. So, Aldor, where is it that you originally come from?
Beyond Alpha Centauria.
And what is your purpose right now as a messenger?
The galaxies are changing. The universes are expanding and blending. So many transitions that are occurring through everywhere. And it is my position to collate the information that is being gathered, so the master energies are able to understand the formulas that are changing, the ones that are dissipating, as this evolution occurs, for the old formulas must make way. Energy that was recycled into something more advanced.
Anything else that you're doing at this time?
Creation is expanding. There's great interest in the change of thought and the experience that one can have through this alignment that is occurring.
Can you tell me about this change in thought, please? What's happening with our thoughts?
As Source advances, so too everything advances. This is a pulling together of lifelines. Everything is a lifeline. Everything. The most minutest particum is a lifeline. When you mass particums together, when you mass lifelines together, it presents itself as information. Example, a human being is information. A rock is information. A star system is an information. A planet is an information. And everything that I have spoken of is a mass of lifelines. In human nature terms, on this planet, the lifelines are shifting. The original lifelines were of more of a denser nature, and the beings in earlier times were unable to manifest a higher frequency. So they were more primordial in their frequency. This is no longer the case. So as more finer lifelines are accessible, an example of this would be of the children who are being born on this planet now. So they come with more lifelines, but of a finer nature. And these lifelines are able to access the source energy. In the past, the lifelines were denser and fewer, and therefore the access to source was limited. With the finer lifelines that are occurring, it brings about a complete shift of the mass of the thought processes. The denser vibrations were involved in the denser frequencies of conflict, which has been prevalent through this planet in its history. As these vibrations dissipate, they are removed, and in the removal, the new ones are being replaced. If one can imagine it like a finer weave of life, as opposed to a rough and coarser weave, an example would be of a rough linen and a fine linen.
So, talking about these lifelines, how do we as humans adjust to these changes in these lifelines? How do the coarse ones learn to live within the lifelines that are so fine?
some get so used to wearing coarse linen, and that's what they believe is what they have. They cannot see beyond the energy. And they may be aware of the finer vibrations, but they have not aligned themselves to feel. And even if they feel the energy, they carry within them an idea that they have no place. There's no place for them in that world. And so they live their lives in a denser way and do the best they can, and then invariably die out. Some, as is being seen, move through the passing of their bodies, through illnesses or other forms of passing. Hence, you are seeing on this planet a higher extent of youth suicide.
Yes, why is that?
For these souls are souls who are so sad because they see the pain and they cannot live with the pain. They are sensitive souls.
Is there anything we can do with these emotions that these children carry? Any way we can help them?
They do not live by the rules. They live by source. And they simply must follow their path. As you are aware, they simply return to a place, a source, and from that place they will observe carefully what they can do in the future.
Okay. Now, I know that the souls are being affected by these lifelines and energy. How is the planet Earth being affected by it?
It is similar to what I said before, the old weave and the new weave. So as each lifeline is woven through, it is a highly sensitized frequency that brings a new awareness to the planet itself. And as these vibrations mass together, then what occurs is the creation of new life forms. The earth itself can recreate its minerals, its crystals, the makeup of the planet, all the sources, plants, animals. Energy at this point is a redistribution of frequency that is going through this planet. And as this redistribution occurs, there are places of great renewal where up to this point there has been only barrenness. Some places that have carried no power now have power, whereas others are being shut down. This has happened right through the history of this planet. It is like the planet itself has its own chakra system, the energy centers.
Yes.
And of course, they are creating a link-in a way that has never happened before, to do with the collectivity of people's thinking. This is not just occurring on this planet.
So can you tell me, Eldor, how it's affecting other planets, this change and expansion?
It is taking everything to another level of life. For there is only advancement and expansion. Again, if one imagines that each planet is of its own vibration, its own frequency, and everything moves to a certain level of evolution where it aligns with other planets, so the vibrations reach out to each other, and so they become a massive collaboration of energy. And this helps to advance, assist the development on all levels, without any actual connection on a conscious level. This is something that has occurred many times on this planet. There have been, and there is a truth in this, of many visitors from outside who come to assist those on this planet. And this has definitely been the case, but there have been other cases where the vibration from other planets have simply transmitted signals and signs to those who are able to be receptive, and therefore they were able to bring forth ideas, information, stories, methods of things like cultivation and machinery and inventions that seemingly came from nowhere. But of course everything comes from everywhere. Some of these informations are translated through people's meditations or dreams.
Yes.
And this still occurs.
So can you tell me more about what it is that you on this ship are doing? Are you somewhere near Earth or somewhere else?
We are near this planet.
Yes.
We are on the dark side of the moon side. Of course, we can make ourselves invisible, but even then, those who are aligned are able to see and know, and some see many in their dream states and in the meditations.
Now, this vessel that you are speaking through, is he an aspect of you, or are you transmitting through him?
Transmission.
Why have you chosen at this time to use this vessel to transmit this information?
The clarity of his frequencies, the lifting of his vibration. He is many times been involved in this work, and we have utilized his energies through history. This is one of the agreements that this soul has made through the lifetimes that he has chosen to be here on this planet. But of course he has been on other places.
When he has been in other lifetimes, have you also been communicating through him?
Yes.
Yes. Eldor, would you allow him at this time to travel through these lifetimes to see how they're affecting him? Unless there is something else that you need to transmit at this time.
No, that is fine.
Very good. So I'd like for you now, to Eldor, to allow him to begin to travel through time and space. I'd like for you to go ahead and disconnect from Eldor. And I'm going to begin to count from 5 to 1 with each number. He'll be going through time and space to the next very poignant, very important lifetime that is affecting the lifetime of Blair now. Begin now by taking a deep breath in as you go deeper, 5, through time and space, traveling to the next lifetime that is affecting this one now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Be there now.
Oh.
Where are you? You can observe it as an observer. You don't have to be in that body now. Just observe it. Can you tell me what's happening?
Death.
Death. Observe it. Release your body from that vessel and just observe it right now. Christ. Can you tell me where you are? Allow your voice to disconnect from that body. As an observer, tell me what's happening.
I see them down there.
I see them down there. Can you tell me what your body looks like in this place?
Oh, bloody.
Bloody. What's happened?
Crucifixion.
Crucifixion. Who has crucified you?
The ignorant.
The ignorant.
Fearful.
Mm-hmm.
The arrogant.
Mm-hmm. What do they call you?
Jeshua.
Jeshua. Jeshua, is this something that was planned?
Oh, yes.
Yes, can you tell me about that? What is the significance of this event?
Through history, many have come to pull people back to the light, to give them that chance to defy the rules of human nature, and to once again embrace what is natural. Been so many efforts through the history of human nature. They call out and they are heard. And the force of creation sends those like myself to once again embrace the light, as some do, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough. Even those who project themselves as light energy, when they face their light, they choose to stand in the shadows of their own fear and of their own destruction, still believing that there's always something that they have to reach for, but there never ever is anything to reach for it is all within. And that is what has been taught through history, through the teachers who came, that all is within. And yet human nature seems to have little patience for what goes on within itself. And when they find it, they become either afraid and they destroy it or persecute it. And then they build their walls around their shame, pretending that didn't really happen. And when they leave their bodies and they move back into spirit, and they see that the walls hid nothing, and so they are caught up into the cycle of their own ignorance, until at some point they listen. But how much has to be destroyed before it is really heard? That is the sadness of this planet. That people are hearing, but they are not listening. It takes not much to be a voice. A small voice can be heard in a very big way.
What is the message that needs to be said right now?
Within you all is life. And in that life, if you live it aligned with your God self, it becomes so simple and so easy. Speak out your truth of who you are. Have the courage of living the life that is true to you. And do not be afraid.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you need to say today?
Be aware of this time in history, of a time of deep love, respect, and show great gratitude to each other. Reach out. Be friends. Pull together. Don't persecute. Don't be afraid. Step away from your egos. You have nothing to prove. You have everything to create. And therefore in the creation of that you have every life to live right now. In this wondrous time of pulling everything together. There's no such thing as power. There's only creation. Power is a limited word. The essence of life is in being. Words are limiting. It is the feelings that matter now. And so many are feeling this power, feeling this energy, and looking to interpret what they feel, but it is very difficult to find the interpretation through words. So do it through actions. Actions of your kindness, your qualities, your love. The word Christ, the Christ itself is simply the word that makes you God. Yeah. Everyone is Christ. Everyone.
For those who have been raised with a religion, can you explain that word Christ?
The way that religious teachers have created so much dogma and conditioning around such a word, thinking of it as something beyond them. But it is simply them. It is simply another way of acknowledging the nature of yourself as Source, God. So when you embrace the Christ that you are, you're accepting yourself as God, yourself as creation. But of course the leaders who created religions, they wanted to be the gods, they wanted to have autonomy, they didn't want anyone else to. Such is humanity on planet Earth.
Jeshua, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Where did you come from? What was your mission?
I came from Source. My mission was to be Source, to show people that they were Source, that they had choice. Interesting. In my day, human nature was not as educated, not as scientific, and yet they were more open, perhaps because they were not so caught up in their thoughts. And they were able to listen more to their feelings. But there was a lot of simplicity. Perhaps a word would be less sophistication. Interesting when you think about now, people with their multiple degrees and corporates and ability to create, with all their knowledge and science, wisdom and power that has been able to manifest what this planet now is. How is it they can be so ignorant? How is it that with all that is available, people still live like barbarians or act like barbarians? How is it with everything that you know, there's so much death and so much inequality amongst all the peoples on this planet? There's a phrase, ignorance is bliss.
Is that the state that we're in? In ignorance?
No. it's like a big question mark amongst everybody. As people look towards themselves as souls and are questioning their human nature, and the moment you question anything, you start to change and reach for something more.
So can you tell me how it is that your lifetime is affecting the lifetime of Blair? How are you connected?
This is a complex question. The essence of me is in him. Mm-hmm. Therefore, his soul possesses a portion of my soul. This enables him to do the work that he does. But this is also part of his own personal evolution as well. I am not 100% through his energy as I project the essence of me through others as well. Mm-hmm. It is a way of being able to continue the work. Some recognize this at times.
How would one know that they have your essence?
That is an individual experience. Mm-hmm. And the information is usually presented to them through an experience that they will have in their development. Obviously, for some, it's not the thing they want to shout about. Mm-hmm. But for those who've chosen to be more public with their channelings of my information, that is also part of their development. But then, this is a time in history where it is so essential for you to announce yourselves as the gods you are, and to not deny yourself of this fact, even if you simply announce this to yourself.
How does that affect one when we announce ourselves as God?
You open yourself up to all of Source, of all of God, of all of that love, all of that light. It is brilliant. It's a wonderful, wondrous experience. And when you have that, it all seems so simple and so right. And what you experience is your ultimate connection with all. And the moment you have that, you'll never be in denial ever again. And you will permit your bodies, your minds, the very essence of everything that you represent, to be aligned completely with Source, unlimited in your power. What you'll have done, you'll have replaced your human nature with your higher nature, your God nature.
It sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful. That is the original state.
Mm-hmm.
That is the original state. Life without the efforts.
When you say without the efforts, does that mean that you'll be able to manifest easier, faster?
Everything. You see your communities, your decisions, your leaderships. Mm-hmm. When people are of the same vibration and energies, of that like-mindedness, mm-hmm. then you serve each other in that way. Humanity and human nature form simply create separation. Mm-hmm. When you are aligned to that God nature, there is no separation. Mm-hmm. And therefore you all become one lifeline together.
Sounds beautiful.
It goes beyond beautiful. It's just ultimate energy.
Mm. Wonderful.
It's very difficult to get people to be of one being, one mind. Humanity can be very lazy.
What can we do as humanity to get fit and not be lazy when it comes to being God?
Make it an individual experience in your own way. Live that vibration daily. It is not a great effort. The more you do it, the more it becomes natural to you. And the more you become natural with that vibration, you attract towards you others of the same frequency. And you just live your life like that.
Those who have been in a religious group have been taught to pray to God, to pray to Jesus. Mm. What is your way of asking Source for what they need?
Prayer is good. Prayer is just talking to God. Mm-hmm. This is all. It's all about communication. It's all about talking. When you open up with your communication, when you speak to God, when you speak to me or any of the vibrations we're called this planet, mm-hmm. we're simply of all one source, whatever the label is, we're just one frequency.
So it doesn't matter who you pray to. Just ask.
Ask.
Okay.
Ask. Speak.
Wonderful.
Love, receive, open up to the love that is there. Open up to the equality that is there. Remember, it is humans who create rules. God does not create rules. Mm-hmm. God creates life.
Wonderful, thank you. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that Blair needs to know at this time from you? From this lifetime?
Believe in you. All of you. You know. You know. It will be better. My dear, dear love. That is all.
Thank you. So I'd like for you now to take a deep breath in as you disconnect from this lifetime. And I will once again count from 5 to 1 as we look for another lifetime affecting the lifetime of Blair now. 5, going through time and space. Finding that next lifetime. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Be there now. Look around and see Where are you?
Another ship.
Another ship. Can you describe this ship for me? Is it large or small ship?
Very big.
Very big. Take a look at your body, if you have one. What do you look like?
Small. Slim. Feminine. Long dark hair.
Look at your hands and feet.
Long fingers. Smallish feet.
What color is your skin?
Color of the moon.
The color of the moon.
The sun behind it. Luminescent.
Beautiful.
Oh, so peaceful.
Are you alone or with others?
Oh, no. Others.
Others. Tell me about yourself. Why are you on this ship?
We've always been on this ship. It is our lifelong journey to just gather, explore, just to do with the gathering of frequencies.
Where are you gathering this frequency?
There are places through the solar system where energy is amassed, and if you have the formula, you are able to draw this energy and use it.
What do you use this energy for?
Propulsion. Energy can be transmitted, and with those who understand the physics of the energy are able to transform it into form.
What is your role on this ship?
Navigation.
Navigation. Now you tell me that you're seeing the moon with the sun behind it. Where is this moon?
Jupiter.
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 Are you accessing information from this moon?
Some of these moons are like satellites.
Can you tell me about that, please?
They may have the shape and the form and the substance of material that makes our planets. But the form, the minerals that are to be found in some of the land masses, or the mass that this is made up of, is able to act as a transmitter.
Are these moons solid?
Nothing is ever solid. It is not like there is this theory that this moon around Earth is a man-made object. That is like a big satellite that is hollow.
Yes.
Which is not true. And it is no different. It's a solid mass, but has different layers of consciousness. And like Earth itself, caves and passages that takes you into the depths of certain places. But again, one must remember the importance of when something is intact in its original state, then it has complete alignment with the universe and all of source energy. And obviously through different times, through many histories, so much has been taken from places that has disrupted the ability for these satellites to be active in the way that they were.
How were they active before? How did they function before?
Like a beacon. Mathematics, really. There's nothing random about the positioning of any form, be it a solid mass as a planet, a continent, a person. Everything is a life form that in its natural and balanced state is totally aligned with all the vibrations. It is like a very big equation, and if the equation is aligned appropriately, good things happen.
And you say that you are in charge of navigation for this ship. How is it that you know so much about all of these satellites?
It is what I've always known. It is what I was taught.
Can you tell me a little bit about your education aboard this ship? How do you learn?
Through thought transmission, through feelings, discussions. It is not like books and school. It is like an awareness that you bring with you, and that awareness is developed little by little, and then as you reach a certain point, you feel the role that you will play, or the roles you will play. Some, like myself, choose to do what I do. Others stay on the planet.
What planet are you from?
The Pleiades.
The Pleiades. Does Pleiades have any connection with the Earth?
Of course.
Can you tell me about that?
The Pleiadian energy assisted in the colonization of human nature, human form on Earth. And so, in the early species of this planet, there was some interbreeding to assist in the development of a form of human nature. And this happened through many thousands of years.
So the evolution of mankind has been tampered with?
I would not use the word tampered. It is just the process.
Just the evolution? So how is it that you are affecting Earth now?
We bring knowledge and wisdom to some through writings and with some specific individuals. We bring an awareness amongst people, even though we are not necessarily seen as who we are. So we can walk amongst you.
How are you able to walk amongst us?
We can change our form, but some people recognize that there is something different. Or we may appear to be seen by some and not by others.
So you tell me that you're on a ship. How is it that you can be seen on Earth? Do you transmit your consciousness to a body here, or?
No, we can bring smaller ships to this planet. There are places we go. You must remember, we do not live by your rules. We're observing a lot.
And do humans ever communicate with you?
Often, right through history. That has never stopped.
How have others communicated with you in the past?
Literally. Through telepathy, through dreams, visitations.
Yes.
Also, in the past we have made face-to-face contact, where we have taken some to our ships and showed to them what is unfolding on this planet, to guide and assist them, to warn them, to encourage them.
Do they remember?
Some remember, but then wish to not pass on the experience or the energy for fear of persecution. Others who have been ostracized. Some have been brave and written accounts, spoken of it quite liberally, without feeling that they have to be responsible. It's just like they are just a messenger. And if there are those who believe, then they feel that they have done well.
So how are you affecting the lifetime of Blair?
By filtering through him his origins daily, and reminding him that his natural status of the light being to connect him with this frequency, which is useful to the work that he does.
Has he chosen in this lifetime, as his soul, chosen to keep that connection with this life?
Yes, he has chosen to keep the connections with all the lives of such. And sometimes this is difficult because it comes up against the human nature. And yet when you can accept you are not human in your nature, it does become easy.
What message do you have for Blair at this time?
Be true to yourself and trust that you are the process. And don't think so much. It is all right. It is okay. Step forward.
Very good. Thank you so much. And now I'd like for you to disconnect from that lifetime Just disconnect from it. Leave it behind and close that as we travel once again through time and space. As you float through time and space, I'm going to count from 5 back to 1. With each number, you'll connect more and more to that lifetime that is affecting you now. Begin now on 5. Getting closer and closer. 4. Feel it, be there. 3. Feel that body. 2. And 1. Be there now, completely. Look around you. What do you see?
The valley.
The valley? Describe it for me.
It is golden in color.
What makes it golden?
The way that the sun hits the mountains, the valleys. It is barren, but full of life. Silent, but it speaks so much.
From where are you observing this?
I stand at the top of a mountain on a ledge, gazing out at all before me.
And as you're standing there, I'd like for you to look down at your body and tell me what you look like there.
I am a male. I have robes of black. I live the life of the Bedouin. Strong.
Look at your face. Describe it for me.
Dark of eyes. A strong forehead. Darker skin. The skin of copper. My cheeks hollow.
Look at your hands. Are they adorned?
No. Strong.
Strong.
I work with my hands.
What do you do with your hands?
Just life.
Just life. Very good. What do they call you? What is your name?
Amir.
Amir. And where do you live?
Oman. You know it as Oman.
So, Amir, I'd like for you to now see before you the date, the year in which you live. What is this year?
2728 AD.
Very good. Thank you so much. So I'd like for you now to go to the place where you live. See yourself now in the place where you live. Describe it for me.
It's like a tent, round. There are many like this. It is like one room, big room, room.
Yes.
This is my tent, my home.
In this tent, do you live by yourself, or are there others there with you?
No, myself, but others around me.
Yes. Are these that are around you, are they related to you?
Brothers, my brothers. My brothers, my mother, and others.
Yes.
Children, and people.
How old are you there?
37.
Very good. Thank you so much. So I'd like for you to go ahead and go to the time in which you are working with your hands. What is it that you do?
I work with the animals, the horses. I train.
You train the horses. What do you train them to do?
The horses are not domesticated.
Yes.
So I train the horses for the tribe.
All right. Do you live in a large tribe?
What do you define as large? 150.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. So now I'd like for you to go to a significant day in that lifetime. We're going to close this scene and move forward to a significant day in which something important is happening. Be there now.
I'm being presented with my wife.
What is the importance of this day?
It is our marriage day.
How old are you there?
39.
And look at your wife. Look at your bride. Take a look into her eyes, the eyes at the window to the soul. Do you recognize these eyes in the lifetime of Blair?
This is not Blair. This wife, I am Blair. This wife.
Do you recognize the eyes of your bride?
Oh, yes. Rose. Blair's friend Rose.
I'd like for you to make the connection so that he could understand.
What do you want to understand?
Just understand the connection.
Yes.
The feelings.
Yes. They are there.
They're very good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So I'd like for you, as you unfold this day, how has this day been for you?
Happy.
Happy. Very good.
Expected. Joyful. People are happy.
Very good.
They said I took too long.
How do you feel about that?
I do what I choose.
Very good. Very good. Is there anything else important about this day?
The beginning, it's a beginning. There are some special energies.
Tell me about that. What are these energies you're feeling?
From the woman, from the wife. She has a wisdom. She communicates with the stars.
How does that affect you?
Good.
Very good.
Good.
Very good. All right, so I'd like for you to close this scene now. We're going to move forward to the next important moment in that lifetime when something important is happening. Where are you?
Beside Rose, holding my son.
What have you called your son?
Hello.
I'd like for you.
Two.
Two of them.
Two. Aloha and Nachi.
Are these boys or girls?
Boys. Twins.
How do you feel about this?
Proud.
So I'd like for you to fast forward through your whole life, seeing what has occurred.
Move movement, just life. No wars, happiness, children, grandchildren, life.
Good. I'd like for you to stop the moment at the last moment of your life and tell me what happens. Where are you in the last moment of your life?
I'm sitting sea, water, sea. Very old. I have many around me. I want to see the ocean.
Have they taken you there?
Yes, we set up camp nearby. And I'm sitting. I can hear the water and the children laughing. And I feel all around me just love and connection. And then I'm just talking to my wife. And then I just close my eyes and I leave my body.
So as you leave your body and look at that lifetime in its entirety, what was the purpose of that lifetime?
You live a life. You stand strong in who you are and do the best you can do with who you are. Don't make it too complicated. Be certain of your position. Recognize your qualities. Invest in them.
So as you look at that lifetime, and look at the lifetime of Blair, how is it that your lifetime is affecting him?
To bring those qualities through.
Is he doing that?
Sometimes.
So what advice would you like to give Blair?
Trust that you are these things. Don't be afeared.
Good advice.
Have the courage to be yourself.
Very good. Thank you, Amir. I'd like for you now to disconnect from Blair, completely disconnect. And I'd like for you to take a moment now to begin to drift through time and space once again. And let's go to another lifetime, the other lifetime that is affecting the lifetime of Blair. Begin now by taking a very deep breath in on 5, propelling you through space and time. 4, to the next poignant life. 3, 2, 1. Acclimate yourself into that lifetime, seeing your body and your surroundings. Where are you? I'm walking. Always walking. Always walking. Are you male or female there?
Male.
Look at your body. How are you dressed?
Just normally.
What is your normal dress?
Tunic.
A tunic? What color is this tunic?
Dark.
Mm-hmm. Is this tunic tied in any way?
Just
around the waist? Mm-hmm. Look down at your feet. Are you wearing anything on your feet?
Yeah, just sandal.
Sandals? Uh-huh. And you say you walk. Where do you walk to?
Wherever I take myself. I belong nowhere. I just... My home is where I walk.
Mm-hmm. What is this place where you're walking? Does it have a name?
Tunisia.
Tunisia. And what do they call you? Listen for your name.
Naba.
Naba. How old are you, Naba?
32.
32. Very good. And I'd like for you to see in your mind's eye the year in which you are in right now.
7 BC.
7 BC.
7.
777?
No,
just
7.
7 BC. Very good. And this place in which you are living, do you live by yourself? Do you walk by yourself?
Yes, always.
Yes.
People bother me.
What is it that it's about these people that they bother you?
Their thoughts, their stupidity, their rules, their ignorance.
What is the difference between you and these people?
I don't need anything. I don't seek for anything. I don't need anybody.
So how is it that you feed yourself? What do you do to sustain your life besides walking?
I can work for someone. I can teach. I can read. I can read. I can write.
Yes.
Many can't.
So I'd like to know a little bit more about you. How is it that you have learned to read and write? I'd like for you to go back in time and see yourself in this education. Be there now. Where are you? Where are you?
Egypt.
In Egypt. What's happening?
I couldn't stay.
You couldn't stay. Tell me what's happening in Egypt that you couldn't stay.
It didn't feel my path.
It didn't feel like your path? What was the path that you were being put on?
It was the family.
The family? Who was your family?
scholar.
Your father was a scholar in Egypt?
Yes.
Yes.
He was a man of pride. Definite in his ideas. And he meant for me to follow him.
To follow his path as a scholar.
He taught me from so young. He was so angry.
Why was he so angry?
Oh, because he said I was dreaming.
So I'd like for you to look into your father's eyes right now. The eyes of the window to the soul. And I'd like for you to see if you recognize those eyes in the lifetime of Blair.
No.
No. Very good. So let's see. I'd like for you to advance forward to see what happened to cause you to leave. What happened?
Nothing. I just knew I could not do this, live this life. It was taking the breath from me. But I hurt people by going. My mother, my sister, my friends. They could not understand. They said I was running from my fate. I said I was running towards my life.
Are you happy with your decision?
Yes.
Very good. So I'd like for you now to close this scene, and let's go to the next significant scene in that lifetime, the scene that impacted your life. Where are you?
I'm lying on the ground.
What's happening?
I'm not very well.
Check your body and see what's happening with your body.
I've been bitten by a snake. I'm going to die. It's a black snake. I didn't see it.
So I'd like for you to separate yourself from any pain.
I don't feel pain.
All right.
I'm just watching. It's like I've already left my body, but the body is still alive. I'm just in the middle of nothing.
And in this place of nothingness, you're able to see this lifetime. Observe it. What was the purpose?
Purpose. To follow who you are. I can see my body is dead. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and no one ever found it. And I just died, and my body just lay there, and eventually just disintegrated. I just disintegrated into nothing.
So as your body disintegrates, I'd like for you to just focus in on your soul and look back at all of those in those lifetime in which you were entangled with your family, your sister. I'd like for you to see if there's any karmic connections. Anything that you left undone.
People never knew where I was. They didn't even know whether and when I died or lived.
So now I'd like for you to look towards the lifetime of Blair.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me how it is that this lifetime of this man has affected the lifetime of Blair.
His need to stand alone, to feel comfortable in being on his own. His ability to observe from that place. To know that sometimes you have a feeling of something you must follow. And to not adapt yourself to suit other people's needs or desires or even fears.
Do you have any advice for Blair?
Advice. Be the God you are. Bring it all together. There are no snakes.
Very good. Thank you very much for that information. And I'd like for you to go ahead and disconnect from this lifetime. Disconnect from this man. And I'd like to ask the higher self of Blair to tell me what it is about all of these lifetimes that he needed to see today.
Each of these lifetimes represents a poignancy in his demeanor. Each of these lifetimes possesses an essence which is essential to the work that he has chosen to do. And each of these lifetimes walks with him to encourage him to develop physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in a way that is natural to his choice of this life.
Are there any lifetimes that he needed to see that we didn't today?
No.
Very good. So I'd like to find out now what it is that Blair needs to know moving forward. Is he at a point in his life where things are changing?
He has served well those who needed to be served. And he must not wait, he must just do what is necessary. I would say no more pause buttons. Align with what is completely natural. Accept all the information that he knows he is receiving. Don't be afraid.
Is there anything else that you needed him to hear today, to understand? About his relationships, about his mission in life?
His mission is to be God. When you choose to be God, you move away from what most human beings would see as normal. You could say being God is the new normal. Many are doing that.
Yes.
You are doing that.
What is the reason that we needed to do this today?
Acceleration.
Mm-hmm. Will this propel him forward in one way or another?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that is done always advances one.
Mm-hmm.
Even that which is called counterproductive still advances one.
Mm.
But all of this is productive.
Yes.
So one seeks for all that is productive.
Mm-hmm.
It is the productivity that is so essential.
Would you scan his body and tell him how his body looks? He's doing a lot of work with it, building it up.
He's not complete yet.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to his stamina,
Mm-hmm.
to his presentation. It is like a creation. It feels what is natural to him.
Yes.
He has often put pause on what is natural to him, adapted himself, instead of following himself.
So he's doing well.
Yes.
Very good.
No more.
Thank you. I'm wide awake, completely alert, feeling wonderful all over.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What a ride.
Oh my God. That first one that came through, that feels so poignant.
Aldor.
That was amazing. That was... Whew.
Wow, this is a tearjerker.
Oh,
For me, some parts of it were...
okay. Whew.
Wow. Did you learn anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What am I feeling right now?
How are you feeling?
It's like the word that comes to my mind is that everything suddenly makes more sense.
That life of Jesus was pretty intense.
Yeah, it was just that, the feeling I had about that was just, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm Jeshua.
It's still what it was. It's funny because when it first came through, obviously he was on the cross.
Right.
And because I could see all these people way down there.
Yeah.
You know, and I looked down, like the body was all just bloodied.
Yeah.
Just like that. And but I sort of removed myself from that pretty quickly. But that Eldor thing, that was interesting. I can still feel it.
And the skin and the uniform that could do everything. You just press on that little button.
That was interesting because it was interesting. It was
like another skin.
Second skin, but I could see it was like this. It was almost like a very fine mesh or something. But it felt like it was alive. Yeah, that's the way it felt.
And you touched the little insignia and it did
just
things.
Here, yeah.
Wow.
I can still see my fingers, hands, like that.
Wow. How long do you think the session was? Did it feel to you?
Oh, I didn't have any sense of time at all.
No?
It's the time, 8:45.
Yeah,
What time did we start? I don't know what time
it was an hour and 40-something minutes.
Okay.
Amazing. Wow.
So what did you feel?
Oh, it was some parts of it was, yeah, the personal part at the end was, it was hard for me to
it was
even breathe.
Just thinking about at one point when Jeshua was speaking, And I just felt God's love just suddenly when he was talking about it, and I could just feel it, that beautiful, wonderful, it's hard to describe that energy.
Wow.
In words. But just his, from what he was saying, and the feeling I got from what he was saying, how easy it is, how simple it is, and what we must do.
But because of all of our distractions, we've gone from being simple to very complicated and looking outside rather than within.
Yeah.
I think that was the message. It's, we've
it's like what humanity has done. It's like created all these diversions and keeps creating more diversions.
Do you want to share parts of this?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Maybe
I'll take some stuff out that we agreed to. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm okay here about that.
It was wild. Ooh.
Hi, Blair.
G'day.
So we're in Wellington, New Zealand right now, and we just had an amazing session with Blair Styra, who is a channel for Tabash, and this was a little bit different than you usually do every day.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because, I'm not usually on this side of the camera. I found it quite profound.
Yeah.
And, a lot of it just made so much more sense. It's interesting going through something like that. You just get the feeling of the ongoingness of you. And, when you look at the lives that you're presenting yourself with, obviously, they're poignant to you. But it's not just the poignancy of that lifetime for you, but what makes me think is the impact that it has on anyone else who is going to listen to this or is participating in some way. And I can feel right now as I'm sort of just coming out of this, a complete sort of download of energy through my body. I've got this extraordinary ringing in my ears at the moment. Sort of going on and off, on and off. It's like everything just makes so much sense, when you are able to tap into, these different aspects of yourself. And it just makes you realize how much we are like a great big library full of information and experience, and you can see how, we're just gathering aspects of ourselves, and we formulate each life we live from all these other experiences. And obviously I think some make more sense than others.
And we're tapping into them constantly.
Yeah.
Almost like our skill set is really all these lives that we've lived.
Well, it's a bit like, I suppose, we're simply just channeling our experiences.
We are channels of our own lives.
And it makes me realize, in even just every day, when we think about how we are portraying ourselves, well, I think we're just portraying ourselves through just this cornucopia of all these different experiences. They don't have to be what happened yesterday. You could be tapping into something from 500 years ago or whatever that could be useful.
Yeah. The interesting thing is the two lives in space.
Yes, yeah.
One was a navigator and the other one was a messenger.
Yeah. That's interesting because when I was having those experiences, both of those it was like, oh yeah, that just makes so much sense.
Really?
That I was just there. It felt really like I was completely at home when I was Eldor. Yeah, and when he was explaining about, it's like this big veranda going around the ship, and even now as I'm talking about this, I can just see me walking along this veranda, going along like that, with the glass, looking out onto the universe.
Wow.
It's just like, just go to the cafe, see you later.
although you didn't eat. You got everything directly from source.
It's just drawing from energy, yeah.
Now, as you were seeing this, I know that you were probably experiencing a lot more than you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the area that I was in when we first contacted there. And I know that there were other beings, not other beings, but beings like me, who were in that room as well. Yeah. And they found it almost amusing that we were doing what we were doing. So it was a novelty watching.
Wow, isn't that something?
What I was experiencing. And then they walked it and they got up and walked away.
Yeah, like this is silly. They just.
Oh, no, that was silly. It was just, you carry on doing what you do. we're going on somewhere else. Interesting, because I was just thinking about in the middle area of the ship, I couldn't see any like doors or windows on. There was like this big metal thing in the middle.
More solid.
It was completely solid, and yet I think you would stand somewhere and suddenly it would just
open up,
and then you would just go in there.
Yeah.
So it's like you
weren't solid.
No, totally. Yeah.
The whole thing was really interesting. Now, how is it different doing something like this than what you do when you channel Tabash?
When I channel, so I suppose it's like when I channel the consciousness of Blair, just simply shifts into a place, a frequency, where I go. It's not like visiting a past life. It's like a place.
A placeholder.
Yeah, it's a placeholder. And then, but of course, when I'm channeling Tabash, in my case, I'm not conscious of what he says, so I'm just doing what I'm doing out there. And then I get a signal that comes from him when he's about to finish, and that's when I sort of pull back in.
Okay. Yeah. So today, what was it like for you as you were traveling around?
When you were just it's completely different from when I channel. I don't know. It sounds. How can I put this? When I'm channeling, it's like there's a. Let's say the consciousness of me that is Blair is just there, okay? And so I'm conscious of myself and as that frequency, as that dimension, that's called Blair. When I was just doing what I did with you, I was actually conscious of myself in my completeness. So I was totally aware of myself as source, but also with all the other lives that I connected with. It had nothing to do with Blair.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you've done one of these before.
Yeah.
Did you go to the same lifetimes?
No.
No.
Not at all, actually. So the other lifetimes I went to, interestingly enough, most of the lifetimes I went to previously was women.
Interesting.
These ones were all males. And maybe that was something to do with that time and how I was then. Maybe I was focusing more on my feminine power than my masculine power.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And whereas this was it felt very male energy.
And just out of curiosity, with the induction that I did today, was it easy for you to follow?
Yeah, I mean, the moment you opened your voice, I could just feel myself going on. And it was interesting because I could feel that energy going through my body.
Yes,
but
you were
what
shaking.
I felt was interesting was this hand kept.
Yes.
It was doing something.
The hand was always moving.
Yeah.
You couldn't see that on. This hand was moving a lot.
Yeah. So,
it was shaking at the beginning.
Yeah.
No one could see that on camera, but it was shaking, and then later it was doing weird things with the hand. It was kind of talking.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I was. That Pleiadian woman. It's funny because I felt that touching the blanket. It was almost, it felt like she was touching the blanket as if she was feeling the fabric and going, "Oh, this is interesting." But it was interesting about when they were talking about how everything is just that frequency woven. And she's talking about the moon and Jupiter or something.
Yes.
And and it was like a solid mass of stone or whatever, but whatever it was made out of, it was all somehow a formula, an equation that allowed receptivity. And when I was thinking about that, I thought that's exactly how the origins of Earth were. Everything was created to be in harmony together because everything was feeding life. And with all the ways that humanity has disrupted things, then the messages aren't getting through in the same way. So all the minerals and plants and everything that originally were created were meant to, it's like they were the formula. And so therefore that vibration was actually sending messages of life and information, harmony. And of course with the mining and things that we've done, and we've disrupted so much of that, so it's almost as if people can't hear what the earth is saying anymore because we're no longer related to what is natural.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, when people feel the need to be involved in nature, it's because it's like that part of them that's seeking for the information. For the information.
Like we're actually, when we put our feet on the ground, we're actually getting information.
Yeah, totally. And when we're staring at the ocean or, or swimming in a lake or, whatever way we're aligned to energy, nature, then, we're actually receiving something. People even say, I need to get outdoors more, I just feel so aligned, or I feel like life is speaking to me, or whatever, which is exactly true.
Yeah. So get your kids out and play in the dirt more.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting information too.
Yeah.
And we talked about the new kids.
Yeah. Yeah. That was quite emotional too, actually.
Yep.
The feeling of that. I'm just thinking about, two good friends of mine who are having children at this point, and one particular whom I know I've got a strong connection with. And it's like these godchildren, that are coming in. I mean, I've never had kids, and I won't in this lifetime. But it's interesting.
They're very emotional about it. So sad.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, this was an amazing session.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed these. These last few videos have been amazing, and this was another mind-blowing session. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to contact me, just go to albaweinman.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It comes out about once a month, and I hope I get to see you at one of my sessions or events. We are having an event. Blair is going to be joining me in Peru in March, and if you want to hear more from Blair, channeling Tabash, she'll be there, and it's going to be an amazing session, an amazing week. So look at my events page so you get more information.
You can go to my website, tabash.com.
And if you want information, tabash.com, and you can actually get a personal reading with Tabash. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
I get to give you a hug.